What's up guys, it's Mike for Sim Racing 604 and welcome back to Project Cars 2 and welcome for the first time to version 1.4.0.0. So this is the fourth update for Project Cars 2. Moving it to version 1.4 is a whole slew of improvements actually. When the changelog came out this morning I was blown away. It was huge. It was, you know, I believe several hundred items long. I didn't actually take the time to count, but it was massive, and I gotta admit that my first impressions weren't great. I read the first few lines, wasn't terribly impressed, so I figured maybe it's a mile wide and an inch deep, but in fact I dug a little deeper into it, and there are a lot of really great changes. So I'm gonna go through most of those. Actually, I won't even say most, but some of these changes, and we'll just with this beautiful R89C in the background, we'll just go through some of the major changes that you may find in Project Cars 2. So first thing I'll say is that this is only for PC thus far. They are working on the console release, but as is the norm in the sim racing world, consoles will be a bit after PC. So starting from the top, just general issues. Two fairly significant updates to VR. They have solved VR flickering issues, and they changed the drawing distance when playing in VR to minimize any texture flickering. So flicker in VR should be gone. And I gotta tell you, this video you're watching now, I did record this, or actually I did drive this in VR, and it looked perfect to me. I didn't have any flicker issues, so seems like they've done their job there. User interface updates. Name of tires on the car within the pre-race menu. Now that's a big one. Reason being is, it used to be, if you're like me and you run the default setup on a lot of cars and it just says automatic by weather, you don't know what you're starting with. If it's light rain, are you starting with slicks, or are you starting with rain tires? What are you starting with? You can now see that it's in the top right corner of the load screen. Excuse me, not the load screen, but the pre-race screen. Improved progress bars in pedal configuration. So when you're setting up your pedals, you will see more accurate travel. Rear view mirror. Actually, two improvements to the rear view mirror. One, they changed the rear view mirror to disable dynamic scaling, so it's going to be a bit easier on your processor, a bit easier on your video card. Enhanced mirror visuals now has an option, so you can enable enhanced visuals and get an improved mirror view. Again, if you're really taxing your video card already, this is something you could turn off. Added a cockpit camera. You can actually drive with a cockpit camera. It's kind of mounted midship, about where your dome light would be. I personally don't have any use for it, but it is very nice to look at, you know, for replays and things like that. Improved the lighting in some of the car thumbnails. Car thumbnails are very strange to me in Project Cars 2. It's by all measure a beautiful looking game, and yet the car thumbnails always look underdone to me. They always look like something from 10 years ago. So they've done a bit of improvements there. Let's see, could have taken that one out. Corrected tuning setup saving issues. Now that it seems kind of innocuous, but it's certainly not. If you've spent a lot of time on a setup and had it just randomly disappear in Project Cars 2, you know the frustration there. They seem to have corrected those issues. The cars, let's talk about the cars. So the cars list isn't that impressive, however, I'll get to more later. So they improved the visuals for the R8 LMS, the R8 LMS 24-hour, the Mazda Rad Bull, the Honda 2 and 4, however you pronounce that, and the Radical SR3. So just minor visual improvements to those. The tracks, there's some bug fixes and visual tweaks for the following tracks. Bannockbrae, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, Catalunya Club, Catalunya Rallycross, Donington Park, Dubai Autodrome, Hell Rallycross, Indianapolis Knock Hill, Linden Hill, Monza Oval, Spa Francorchamps, Texas Motor Speedway, and they've also updated pit crew animations for tracks with left-handed pit stop fueling. So it looked a little goofy before, but they have fixed if they're fueling from the other side. Visually, that is. Handling, so they've added, and this is a good one for you console drivers, this will eventually come to you, but those running controllers for PC, they've added a new opposite lock assist for gamepads and keyboards. It's designed to help the player control oversteer and slides and can be toggled on and off. Very cool. I like that. I don't personally drive with a controller, but I know the frustrations associated with it. Incorrect altitude of... Okay, actually, listen to this one. This one's pretty amazing. Fixed incorrect altitude of many tracks for better balance of performance between turbo and naturally aspirated cars. So yes, the air mixture from altitude was affecting performance adversely. Think of the level of detail that is. It's just amazing. Blows my mind that they've packed that into a racing sim that we can get for 60 bucks or whatever. It's amazing, that level of detail. Very, very impressed by that feature. More impressed that they paid attention to it and tweaked it in this update. Very, very cool. Let's see, BMW 1M, or M1 I suppose, they improved the force feedback scale, the Dallara IR15 oval setting, fixed the force feedback feeling, the Ferrari 333, I know there's fans of that car out there, balance of performance changes, keep it up with, I believe it's LMP class, to keep it up with its LMP competitors. They have changed the balance of that. Ford Escorts, they changed some field of view settings. Ford Falcon V8 performance tweaks, that'll be an interesting one for those fans of supercars. Ford Fusion stock car road course tire that has a stiffer... I love the wording here. Okay, the Ford Fusion stock car, the new road course tire that now has a stiffer carcass and wider adhesive peak. Awesome wording, meaning it sticks better on the road. The Ford Mustang RTR Formula Drift, that's one of the new cars from the most recent, I can't remember what they call it, the Fun Pack maybe? Anyway, that Ford Mustang RTR, improvement to the car's handling based on Von Gittin Jr.'s feedback. Yes, they went straight to the source, improved it slightly. Ford Sierra Group A, moved the launch RPM, blah blah blah, that's not really that exciting. The Formula A, they reduced the fuel tank capacity. Formula C and R, this is an interesting one. So the Formula Rookie, the Formula C, revised tires, engine braking, and damper setup for better stability and easier drivability. I never found the Formula Rookie nor the Formula C to be particularly tough to drive, but for those that did, good news on the way for you. If you're like me and run the stable setup as opposed to loose setup, when you're using one of the, pre-installed setups for Project Cars 2, good news for you. The stable setups, they adjusted the force feedback for changes to tires. Fixed rain tire being faster than the slick, so just overall, just minor tweaks to the stable setups. The Formula cars are now less sensitive to aero and suspension damage. That's interesting. I would think they would increase that, but regardless, I suppose minor bumps to your tires, to your wings, will not have as much effect, and that's a good thing. The Ginetta G40 tuned for better control after bumps and landings, so if you're going over curves in the Ginetta G40 and just losing all control, it's better now. The Lamborghini Huracan GT3, the slight drag decrease, I think it was not reaching its full speed on the straightaways, but now it can. Listen to this one. The Lamborghini Sesto Elemento increased force feedback strength because it was previously too low. I gotta say, I called it. I put it in one of my videos that it felt too soft. It didn't feel like there was much there, and the haters came out. But anyway, I won't say I told you so, but I will say I told you so. I don't even know how to pronounce this word. The Ligier Judd LMP2 and rear-wheel drive P20, engine cooling adjustments there, and all the LMP2 cars, this is another interesting one, were given an additional 50 horsepower to get them closer to the real-world lap times. Very, very interesting. So across the board, LMP2 cars got an additional 50 horsepower. The Lotus 38 and the Lotus 56 have better speed on ovals. The Mercedes GT3 cars, the AMG and the SLS, default wings changed for AI cars to obtain better speed balance at low downforce tracks. So what that basically means is it's going to handle better for the AI through lower speed courses. The Nissan GTR GT3 got an increase in power to 525 horsepower. The RX lights increased force feedback multiplier and aero drag towards the center. Porsche 911 GT3R, very, very cool car in Project Cars 2 if you haven't driven it lately. Revised suspension geometry and setup from new reference material, aka they made this thing more accurate. Now when they say new reference material, could it be the race room GT3R car? I don't know. It could be a coincidence, but anyway, by all accounts, that 911 GT3R in Race Room is very, very lifelike. So, did Project Cars 2 kind of borrow some data there? I don't know. Toyota GT1 1999, balance of performance change. IndyCar and Ford Fusion, the AI tire wear has improved. They also improved AI tires for the Ford Mark IV, Lotus 40, Ferrari 365 GTB, Mercedes-Benz 300. So the classic cars got better AI tires. Group C and IMSA GTP got various performance tweaks. Won't get into it. I'll leave the full list of tweaks in the description here. Group C cars, like you're seeing on your screen right now, adjusted force feedback for latest changes to the tires. So they've made some significant changes to the tires overall in Project Cars 2. So the Group C cars have been adjusted in kind. And again, the rain tires used to be faster than the slicks. They are no longer. GT3 cars, the soft slicks got tweaks to temperature operating window. So aka when it's warm, they perform better kind of thing, or better yet, a better way to say it, they get warm at different than they used to. Maybe they heat up faster, maybe they don't get as hot as fast, but anyway, GT3s should handle better. And then also in the GT3 class, a horsepower balance adjustment to the Bentley, the Cadillac, and the Ferrari in the GT3 class. Added 5 liters of fuel capacity to a whole bunch of GT3 cars. Actually, only 3, sorry. Aston Martin V12, the Porsche 911, and BMW Z4. This ensures they can now do a 90-minute race/fuel run with the rest of the GT3 cars. So, balance of performance once again. And a GTE class cars, which are, in my opinion, some of the best in Project Cars 2. Improve the rolling resistance of AI tires to better match player speeds. So, AI tweaks again. They fine-tuned the fuel estimates for LMP1, GT3, GT4, and turbo cars, so you will get a more accurate estimate of how much fuel you need for that race. Now this one I don't fully understand. I'm not a big rallycrosser, but improved adhesive versus rip grip to help stability of slides on rallycross tires. Altered side and push drafting, reduced drag penalty associated with Aero damage, and also adjusted thresholds for AI to pit. So they talked about that earlier with the Formula cars. It looks like they've done that to other cars as well. Corrected differing amounts of fuel between players in fixed setup races. That's very interesting. So if you're doing a fixed setup race, you will now have as much fuel as your competitors. Various adjustments and improvements to aero and wing effects. So overall, not only did they tweak tires, they did quite a few tweaks to aero as well, and improvements overall to the wear and the heating of tires. So this is pretty big. They've improved their tire modeling. They've improved aero. This is a big deal. Gameplay. Next section. Yes, this is long, and believe it or not, this is condensed. The driver helmet now correctly shown in the helmet view camera. Improved results of simulated career sessions. I think I put the wrong notes in here. Sorry, guys. Improvement to prevent players being able to drive in community events with DLC cars when they don't own the DLC. So, yeah, it looks like... Let's see. Improvement to prevent players being able to drive in community events with DLC cars when they don't own DLC. So I don't know if that's saying you will or you will not be allowed in if you do or do not have the DLC. Anyway, we'll find out soon enough. This one's kind of cool. All vehicles, they're now permitted to use kart tracks for private testing. So you can get out there and private test on the kart tracks. Very cool. Resolved an exploit, aka people taking advantage, for tuning setups being applied to fixed setup community events. So somehow people figured a way around and applied setups to fixed setup events. That's not cool. Fix that. Radical and light sports slick tires adjusted the ideal temperature range again. Since I did such a poor job explaining it last time, I won't get into that again. And the Lotus 38 and the Lotus 56 were slow at the Indy Oval, but they have improved that. They have added a sound for penalty HUD messages. So when you get a penalty and get that yellow banner on your screen, you now get a sound too. And I haven't even heard it, and it's already my least favorite sound, I can tell you that. Reduce the amount of calculated slowdown time required following track limit breaches, aka penalty times, have been reduced. Reduce an exploit where players could enable driving aids that are not allowed. So again, people turning on driving aids in fixed events is cheating, but that's been corrected. Improved poor sounds of high or fast revving engines. I think that's just about every car in this game, really. But added the Sampala track to private testing mode. Kind of cool. Added the pit speed limiter from cars with which it was previously missing, so that's kind of cool. If you've mapped a button to pit speed limiter, it does help. Otherwise, trying to find 59k is no fun. Improvements to the cut track penalty system now takes into account crash pitted and other class opponents in timed races. I like that. So if somebody knocks you out and knocks you off course, you don't get the penalty. Kind of cool. And corrected behavior to prevent online reputation safety rank increasing when there are no opponents on the track. So if you're running online, everybody bails on the race, you're not going to get any improvements to your safety ranking. Added automatic by weather choice to the pit stop strategy menu. Crew will now change tires if they are deemed unsuitable for the weather. And AI changes, guys. So they have improved AI for the following tracks. Buckle up. Brands Hatch GP, Brno, Catalunya GP and Catalunya National, Daytona, Daytona Road Circuit, Daytona Tri-Oval, Dirtfish Mill Run, Dubai Autodrome, Dubai International, Fuji, Hockenheim, Imola, Indianapolis, Laguna Seca, Le Mans, Long Beach, Monza GP, Nordschleife, Nürburgring GP, Rune GP, Sakito GP, Silverstone GP, Snetterton, Sugo, Texas Oval, Texas Motor Speedway Road Course, Watkins Glen, Willow Springs, and Zhuhai. They have also fixed an issue where the AI was not affected by aero damage. That's kind of cool. So I guess the AI was losing wings and still driving like normal, so they've improved that. This is a big one right here. They have fixed the AI aggression, so that's kind of cool. So always AI improvements are welcome. They have improved AI behavior on ovals, improved when AI uses curves or speed boosts, improved the timing of AI pulling out a slipstream when overtaking, improved AI while passing slow cars, so it's more conscious of the cars around it. Improvements to AI, very cool. Improvements to AI for avoiding danger. Oh, these guys are going to bring the singularity on us. Let's see. Improved AI tire wear and corrected AI behavior when pulling over due to damage. Improved AI rain performance, snow performance, off-road performance. Improved AI behavior and forced into situations where reversing is necessary. That's kind of big. It wasn't Project Cars 2, but I was in R Factor the other day, and a car got pinned against the fence, and I sat there and watched it for, I don't know why I did this, but anyway, I watched it for about 3 minutes and it couldn't get unstuck. So Project Cars 2 now has one up on R Factor. And AI improvements to the Ford Bronco Brockie, Dallara IL12 Oval, Ford Fusion, and the LMP3 cars. Almost done here, guys. This is a big one again. Corrected controller or wheel setups getting reset if controller type is altered and game is restarted. That's great. You have no idea how many times I've booted into the game, accidentally forgot to turn my wheel on or something like that, went into the control settings thinking I just, had messed something up, forgot I turned it off. It sees that I don't have a wheel, it defaults to keyboard and mouse or something like that, and I've lost everything. But now they have improved that. And then finally, they're calling it the Madness Engine improvements. They have improved LiveTrack 3.0 performance. Pretty generic statement. Various stability improvements. Not referring to the car's performance, of course, referring to the stability of the game. And they have refined a stuttering problem caused when vehicles take damage. So that's a visual performance improvement. So there we go. That's it, guys. Major improvements to an already great game. As you guys know, when Project Cars 2 first came out, I wasn't that impressed with the force feedback, and I thought it held it back a lot. Since I got my AccuForce, and some of you folks came forward and helped me out, helped me get things tweaked, I love this game. You have no idea this, when I was recording this footage you're seeing in the background now, this R89, I was just having a blast. I had my stick shifter going, and I just had an amazing time running these 4 laps. So Project Cars 2, definitely right up there with the best sims in my opinion. I love this game. It looks beautiful, it drives beautiful, just a lot good, and they keep getting better and better. I will try and remember to add the full changelog in the description. You won't read it. I've done my best to pare it down and keep it somewhat digestible, but I don't know if I've done that or not. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.